Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery. We talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. So, I totally screwed up and deleted the freaking video that I put up about leaving the hole. So, here we go again. Let's do this. So, yesterday we left off and I was in the hole for 3 days. Okay? So the reason I was in the hole was because when you got to the prison that I was in, they would send you to the hole for 3 days because they wanted to make sure that you weren't like infected. You didn't have any diseases. You weren't crazy. I mean, they wanted to make sure that they were going to be able to get work out of you because when they put you in general population, you was going to go to work. Okay. And so I didn't know all this. I thought that when I got out of the hole that I was going to go straight behind bars. I didn't know anything about the prison that I was going to because I'd never been to prison before. So I was picking the girl's brain that I was sleeping in there with, you guys. I was like, so what's going to happen? Where are we going to go? How's this going to go down? Because she was a repeat offender and she had been there before. Now, the kind of prison I went to was a regional punishment facility. It's called RPF, and it was a minimum security prison. Okay, the kind of prison that you weren't locked behind bars at all. What they did was they would put us in units. So there was about 60 to 100 girls per unit, and a unit would be a big building with showers, toilets, a like day room where there was like a microwave and a TV, and then just racks. Okay, racks where we all slept. So I didn't realize that. So I was scared. I was like, oh, I'm going to get out of the hole and I'm going to be locked up 365, marking X's on my calendar. Like, damn, how am I going to make it? Right. Well, I remember when they called us because we both got out at the same time and we got sentenced to our compounds, like our units, our units. And so we both ended up in the same unit together, which was cool because we had kind of gotten to know each other while we were in the hole. And that's when I remember the first night, you guys, in my unit. Everything like is new. So what they do is they go around and they do rack counts. So if you're on your rack, you have to sit up or stand right beside your rack, right? And be completely still while the guards are counting. If you move, you would get a disciplinary because they're counting to make sure we're all in there, right? And we would have these counts like every hour. So we would have to stop whatever we were doing and freeze. And they would count each one of us, right? Wherever we were at. So that night, I remember I was on the top bunk. I remember laying on my rack with this gray wool cover. It was so scratchy and just, ugh. And I was laying there and I was just thinking like, damn, like, this is it. I'm going to be here for a year and I can't leave. I can't call my mom and dad. I can't, eat whatever I want. I can't take a shower when I want. I can't shave. It was just horrible. That's all I can explain it to you is horrible. So that night I went to sleep and it was a hard time for me sleeping, you guys. And the next morning they come through and this alarm goes off that wakes you up at 5 a.m. I got up at 5 a.m. I got dressed, and that's when I started learning what they had us do. They would have us deuce up in 2 lines out front of our unit, and we would have to march and chant on our way to breakfast. And then when we would get done eating breakfast, we would have to deuce up and march and chant. Anywhere there was 2 or more inmates together, you would have to deuce up and march. Now, if you were walking the compound on your own, all you had to do was keep your hands behind your back and march by yourself, okay? But if you were 2 or more people, hand behind your back, deuce up and march and chant. I don't know what you've been told. RPF is a shithole. I mean, I can't remember the chants, but it was chants about us getting sober and not doing crimes anymore. They were like positive chants. But we would chant that shit all around the compound, okay? Well, when we came back from breakfast, that's when I went to meet with my counselor, and she assigned me my job. and I went out straight to work my job, which was CWC, the Compound Work Crew. Now, CWC wasn't no joke, you guys. This was where you were going to be out there hoeing. You were going to be out there mowing lawn. You were going to be out there weed whacking. You were out be painting. Anything that was manual labor outside, that's what CWC did. I was on CWC for the first week I was locked up, and I was working my ass off. And that's when the last day I was on CWC, I was outside, and one of the guards saw me, and she said, "Hey, you, what's your name?" I said, "My name's Nicole DeMayo." And she said, "You work really hard." And I was like, "Yes, ma'am." And she said, "I want you to come with me." And I was like, shit, what? Am I in trouble? You know, I was tripping. And she was like, no, you're not in trouble. Girl, you are going to love this. You're coming to work for me. And everybody was, I remember all the girls were like, "Nicole, you little shithead." And I was like, what? They were like, you get to go to laundry. She's picking you to work the laundry crew. And I was like, so? Like, that, I hate doing laundry, right? And they were like, "No, girl, no. Laundry is the shit. You guys get to do whatever y'all want to do. 90% of the time, you don't even have a guard down there with you." And I was like, what? So basically what laundry was it was the trusted inmates that were allowed to do laundry because we were down there by ourselves at 2 a.m. in the morning. So there was a good side to it and there was a bad side. I had to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning every morning. And we didn't get days off. So I worked in laundry till the day I left. 365 days. 2 a.m. in the morning. I would go to bed at 8:30 and get up at 2. And laundry, oh my gosh, that's what my next video is going to be about. It's going to be about my whole experience work in laundry. But after I got picked to go on the laundry crew, that's when things kind of started looking up. Because that first week, you guys, I cried every night when I went to sleep. Because I was realizing that I had just lost my freedom. And when I was really beating myself up because I lost my freedom because I couldn't pass drug tests. Because I wouldn't get sober. Because I wouldn't stop doing drugs. You know, they gave me a chance if I would have just stopped doing drugs. But the thing about it is if any of you guys know, you know how when you're in active addiction, just stopping, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. If I could have just stopped, I would have just stopped. Because I did not want to go to prison. But I didn't know how to stop. And I also didn't have any coping skills or a support system or anything. So I struggled. So that first week was just a lot of realizations of all the shit I had fucked up. And that was a hard week for me. It was probably one of the longest weeks of my life. While I was there, that first week, they got me assigned to my counselor, like I was telling you guys. And this lady was like, this prison was a drug and alcohol rehabilitation prison. You were there to do work, manual labor, like you were going to be working. You either worked in the cafeteria, CWC, laundry, or there was other jobs like clerical jobs where you would like work in the office and file papers. You could be secretary. I mean, there was the inmates ran the compound. The guards were just there to supervise us. The inmates were in charge of everything that happened on that compound. The food that got made, the toiletries that got passed out, the laundry that got done. I mean, every single thing was done by inmates. And the way that you earned, like, did a good job there was, you know, you did your job, you stayed quiet, you mind your business, and you did what you were told. And you hoped that nobody was going to write you up for a disciplinary. The way you would earn your status was you had to tell on other inmates. You had to turn them in, or they called it pulling each other up because it was for negative behavior. So you had to pull each other up for, acting out inappropriately or being late to lunch, and each time that you wrote somebody up, you would gain status. But see, for me, I didn't have to gain status because I was a short timer and I was sentenced to 1 year flat. So no matter what, I was going to get out on my year, right? But the other girls would write me up because they knew that I was going to get out no matter what. So I went to the floor a lot. And that's what they would call it, going to the floor. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. I just wanted to have this video up for you guys to kind of tell you about what it was like transferring and leaving the hole and then getting in the new job. And tomorrow, I'm going to tell you guys all about working in laundry. It was quite an experience. But if you guys like these videos, please give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section, do you like hearing about my experience in prison? What else do you want to hear about? Let me know. I love talking to you guys down in the comments, and thank you so much for subscribing and being part of this family with me. And I hope you guys can make it tonight to our MAT support group at 7:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. Bye.